want to thank you all for joining us today, for your interest in the DBA. And we will maybe just take a minute to introduce ourselves, and then I'll announce the agenda for us. My name is Ginny Hinderscheid. I'm the head of marketing and admissions for the MBA and the DBA. I will be your first point of contact for any questions you have. If you would like to discuss your research topics, if you're wondering about the program formats, and you would like to know a little bit more, or if you have personalized questions around what you would like to do with your research goals, I'd be the first person you'd reach out to, and I'm happy to talk to you about those things. So I'll also let my colleagues introduce themselves here.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Dima Lewis. I'm the academic director of the DBA France program. I'm a professor in leadership and organizational studies, where I teach and I do lots of research. So I'm looking forward to receiving your questions later on. If you have any questions about research, I'm looking forward to getting to know more about you as well. Thank you.
Indeed, same here. So I'm the academic director of the US cohorts. We work very much together with the two cohorts together. I'm a professor in finance here at Grenoble École de Management since 3 years now, and much enjoying that, and much enjoying to work with you guys, with the DBA students. It's really fascinating to see what you guys are up to and to help you through the process of getting academic and doctoral research going. So much looking forward for your questions.
Great, thank you. All right, so just briefly about our agenda for today. We gave our introductions. I will tell you just very quickly about our school, about GEM, about Grenoble itself, briefly present our program, and then I'll let our two academic directors dive into what's new for us this year, and that is our specializations. And then the best part of this webinar is we will be opening up the session for Q&A. Because there's so many of us on this call, we will just ask that you go ahead and type all of your questions into the chat. And then at the very end, rather than answer you in the chat, we will read your questions aloud and answer them so that everyone can get access to your great questions. And so please don't hesitate, and we'll do our best to answer anything you might need. But also, if you have a personal question or would like to follow up afterwards, we are happy to meet with you. So we introduced ourselves, and you'll have our contact information as well, which you can find on our website if you have questions afterwards. So why Grenoble? As you may know, we are nestled in the heart of the Alps. We are the French Silicon Valley, where we were voted the Green Capital in 2022. We are known for innovation and technology. Despite being, perhaps might seem far away in the Alps, we are very much an international city at the center of a tech hub in France. We have 6 centers of excellence in Grenoble. So, mountains and sports, which we like to do on the weekends, but we're also the center of energy, healthcare, electronics, chemistry. You'll notice that we are, we'll get into this, but we are known as a school for management and innovation because we are located on a peninsula along with quite a few other head of research institutes. So you can see our beautiful valley here. The school. So we are known for, yes, as I said, our expertise in technology and innovation management. And we also, sorry, I don't want to read this, read these to you, reading slides, not so nice. But you could see that some of our core mission of our school is based around sustainability. So we'll just kind of move on so that we can get to the core of our subject, sorry. We have 3 main campuses. So in Grenoble and Paris, but also in Grenoble, we have a lab in which we do lots of experiments in our research. So research at GEM. We have 9 main research teams. you can find, I encourage you, if you're interested in doing a DBA, to go onto our website, become familiar with some of our research at GEM, get to know our faculty, and your DBA project won't necessarily be centered around this, but it'll give you an idea of what we do. We have 110 research-oriented permanent faculty. So the sky's the limit, basically, with supervision, as my colleagues will explain to you during our Q&A. We have, at the moment, 26 full-time PhDs, 120 part-time DBA students. We're known for our research rank and publications, and also we boast of over 550 DBA alumni around the world. So quickly about our DBA, because I'd like to leave this conversation open for my colleagues and for the wonderful Q&A. So the DBA is a tailored 3-year part-time, internationally recognized doctoral program aimed at business leaders and academics who want to enhance their career by leveraging research to solve complex issues. So the program is adapted to the busy lives of professionals located in France and the US and delivered in a hybrid flexible format. Why us? So first, we are a 3-year, very rigorous, serious DBA that can be completed in 3 years. We are a triple accredited business school. Most notably is our AACSB ranking for those who are in the US who are looking to go into academia. This is important. We have a strong global network of over 600 alumni and students, a very active alumni network and engaging alumni network. We have 2 strategic programs in France and the US, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Our online and on-site flexible format is really adapted to those working full-time, but also gives you a chance to meet and network with your cohort while following this degree remotely. We are the most experienced program in Europe, the oldest, founded in 1993. And so this year, last year, we celebrated our 30th anniversary. We are one of the few programs to offer doctoral supervision from day one of the program. And as I mentioned, with over 100 research active faculty at our school, we're a member of EdBac. So we're active in our US markets and one of the top ranked business schools in research in France. So as I said, we have 2 global cohort options, and you met our 2 directors. And with that, I'm going to pass the reins so they can explain a little bit about the program and our 2 cohorts.
Thank you, Ginny. So maybe we'll take turns with Marielle. So if you can switch to the next slide, Ginny. So this is just to give you an overview of the program structure. So as Ginny mentioned, it's a 3-year program. You can see you would alternate seminars and a number of deliverables. So it starts with a seminar on-site here in Grenoble. So that's both for the DBA US and the DBA France program. It's important for us that the students come on-site, discover the campus, meet with the professors, but also, as Marielle mentioned earlier, we work really closely together, and it's important also to create those networking opportunities and building relationships between the 2 programs. So it starts with a seminar here on site in Grenoble in November. Then you'll have a first deliverable, which is an extended research proposal that kind of builds on what you would have submitted during the application process. Then seminar 2 takes place in LA for the DBA US program and online for the DBA France program. And the first year ends with a second important deliverable, which is the literature review. Year 2 starts with a seminar that takes place on site in our Paris campus. It's another opportunity for students to come together. So it's a joint seminar with the DBA US, DBA France programs. And it's an opportunity also to discover our new campus in Paris. Then you'll have a major milestone, which is deliverable 3, the dissertation proposal. So this is halfway through the program, and it kind of marks the transition between phase 1 and phase 2 of the program. And this is when you'll have, you present your dissertation proposal in front of a jury. And if you get the green light, then you move to phase 2 of the program, which will consist of your data collection and data analysis. Then we end the year with seminar 4, which is advanced research methods. This is very important in phase 2 to help you with your data collection and data analysis. Year 3, you'll be working on your thesis throughout the year, of course, but we also have a number of webinars that are an integral part of the program in terms of research methods. And this is where we have our new specialization tracks. So we'll talk more about the specialization tracks next. We have 3 specialization tracks to choose from. And then year 3 ends, hopefully, with you completing your thesis and successfully defending your thesis and getting your degree. So that's an overall structure of the program.
Just to add to that,
Yeah.
that actually these seminars are very important, especially in the beginning, because what we see is that there's really a team spirit. The whole cohort comes together. They're all in the same boat. They are going through the same journey all together. And this we see is very, very helpful for the students, well, to get through, to have a good time as well. And so this is what I wanted to stress with the START seminars that we stage in France. The people from the US come over to France at that moment.
Sure, we do have a true, well, it's like a very much a global cohort. There's no 2 people alike. Every question, every research topic, imaginable age, gender, country, nationality, but they do have that one, that same drive to resolve a challenge, and it's a lot of fun to see, to bring everyone together to see what they're doing.
Yeah, and just to add to that, in terms of the diversity of students, so we very diverse in terms of age, professions, industries, the backgrounds, etc., and nationalities as well. So in the DBA US program, usually we have students from the Americas, so from Canada to South America as well. And in the DBA France program, we have lots of students from Europe, from Asia, from the Middle East, so quite international group of students. Okay, so maybe you can move to the next slide, Jenny. Marielle, would you like to start talking about the specializations?
Yeah, so this is new this year. We are going to start with 3 specializations, which doesn't change anything of what we're already doing. And in fact, it's sort of formalizes or gives structure to what we are actually already doing. So we have the plan to start these specializations, which is concretely speaking extra lectures in the 3rd year, which was indeed on the previous slide. You could see the extra seminar, which will be online, by the way. So it helps you to actually focus on your research topic, which doesn't necessarily need to be aligned. So we see that our current students have topics and research subjects that are already in the fields that we are now building specializations on. So it is very much coherent and in line with what is already happening, but it doesn't need to be exactly in line. It is an extra opportunity to learn and to exchange on topics that are interesting all of us.
Yeah, so when you do your DBA, of course, you have a research topic that you work on over the 3 years, and you really become an expert in your area of research. these specializations offer you the opportunity to get additional expertise in other areas maybe, but also to help, with the DBA, DBA students have this interesting profile of being able to mix both your professional expertise and experience with the academic world, and these specializations are an additional opportunity to kind of bridge those two worlds, the actual practical world and academia, and to help you also get more skills in how to translate any academic research into something that is more practical as well. So beyond your own area of research, which you will become, of course, the expert in. Okay, so next, please, Judy. Okay, so these are the 3 specializations that we are offering. So one in sustainability, the second one is managing technology and innovation, and the third one is in managing and leading people. And you could probably everyone can relate somehow to these 3 topics. We know that in organizations today, these 3 topics are becoming at the core of any organization, whatever the industry is, whatever your job is. These are probably topics that you can relate to one way or another. And we have chosen these specializations not only because of their importance, but also because they are very aligned with what we do at GEM in terms of research activities. So Ginny mentioned earlier the research chairs, the research teams that we have, and lots of the work that is done in terms of research at the school falls in one of these 3 areas. So you will really get access to the latest in terms of research in these 3 areas. Ariel, would you like to maybe talk a little bit about each one?
Okay, yeah, so we dive into each of the 3 just for a minute, just to give them a flavor of what we are offering. So we are launching this specialization in sustainability, whilst aware that much thought is nowadays going into these questions. So how build a sustainable economy serving an equitable stakeholder society? That is a fundamental question. We notice that now at present, about a third of our current DBA students undertake studies that are related to this question in one form or another. We think that these numbers are at least stable or may go up. We are confident that this a question to stay with us. What I want to say about these 3 specializations is that they are actually giving more structure on what we are already doing. We have experts in these 3 fields who are currently supervisors for our students. So for the specialization in sustainability in particular, it is consistent with the school's identity. So Grenoble École de Management is actually a so-called business lab for society. What does it mean? It is, we have signed a chart, which was initiated by the European Union a few years ago, committing ourselves to certain goals to do with ethics and most notably with the green transition. And since we are working towards these goals on our level, so concretely, indeed, we have academic chairs working on sustainability issues. Most notably, one called the Energy for Society Chair. I'm actually myself acquainted to that one. Just to give an example, I've been working together with a professor in engineering here in Grenoble, and a student on the making of green commodities. So how make the production of cement and steel green? There's so many outstanding issues everywhere. It's pretty fascinating. Okay, perhaps we can move on to the second specialization.
So the next specialization is managing technology and innovation. So here we stress on the managing aspect. So we will not teach you about the technical aspect of it, but how to manage digital transformation, AI. So again, this is something that we can all relate to. And our research team, so you can see on the right-hand side of your slide, the different research teams working on these issues, they are heavily experimenting on these issues. They are working with different organizations, helping them through the transition. And we have in our campus, GEM labs, which Ginny mentioned earlier, we have different labs where our researchers and even our students have the opportunity to come and experiment with technology. So in addition to the traditional digitalization, let's say, they work on projects such as the interactions between human and robots. So we have robots in the labs, and we see whether how consumers interact with robots, but also at work, how do we work with artificial intelligence and so on. So we're doing lots of experimentations, whether in terms of how do you manage a digital transformation, AI, etc., also to the relational aspect, the interaction aspect, and we have teams working on the ethical aspects of it, because we know that there are lots of ethical issues attached to the fast pace that digitalization is taking, and artificial intelligence and so on. So in this track, you'll get access really to understanding the latest research on these topics. And as I told you earlier, you will see how do we translate this academic research on these topics into something practical that you can use in organizations. And then the third specialization, here, of course, as executives, this is something you can all relate to. So managing people and organization. And you can see from the topics here, research is done on issues such as how careers are changing in today's world, how leadership is changing in this digital world, what are the career shifts that we are witnessing. So lots of issues that are relevant to many organizations. We have the chair, and here you can see also some overlaps between the work of the different chairs. So, for example, the chair, Digital Organization and Society, while they work on issues related really to management, they also work on issues related to leadership as well. So not only the digital aspect, but the leadership aspect of it. So yeah, that's very briefly the three specializations that we have.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, so that was really interesting. And again, each one of you will have your own, in a sense, customized thesis that is the core of your DBA. And these specializations are a way for you to gain further research experience, a unique experience, reconnect with your cohort, and get to know our research community further. So where you can learn more about the DBA program is I invite you to look on the website to read more. You might be interested in our doctoral knowledge journals. where you can read testimonials from those who have done it themselves, from students and alumni about their experience. We have some videos as well on our YouTube channel. And please follow us on LinkedIn. So we have a LinkedIn page that's dedicated not just to our DBA, but to our research as well. And you'll hear about different publications and activities going on. So we're happy to have you join us. And again, if you have any questions or would like to start your application or want to start to address some of your research topics, I'm happy to meet with you. Please reach out to me. And if you have even more detailed questions, my colleagues would be happy to meet with you as well. So at that, I will stop sharing my slides and we will open this up to Q&A. So I will just look at your questions here in the chat. So please feel free to enter your questions and we'll get to them as we can. So to get started here. So we have someone here doing an MSc in Management Sciences with a research background in supply chain, agri-value chains. However, he'd like to switch his area to climate change management, as Pakistan being the 5th most vulnerable country to climate change. So his question is, how as a management student can he link his studies to climate change and add value to solve this threatening challenge for the developing country like Pakistan?
These are questions indeed that are currently being addressed by our DBA students. So welcome on board. We'll be thinking this together. Indeed, we have students working on supply chain management, which has its own challenges of its own. We had just one graduating months ago. And on climate change, it's indeed well, I'm thinking about cases we were already doing. So somebody who works for the United Nations and thinks about indeed energy transition in developing countries. And yeah, so I don't know exactly what the question
I think because the
is.
question, it sounds like somebody who's still doing their MSc. So you're maybe positioning yourself to do a doctorate later. I'm guessing that this is the question. I think what we look for is most of our students happen to have MBAs. They don't have to necessarily. It could be an MSc. Generally have at least 10 years of work experience. We require at least 5. But the real question is your research topic and your motivations. And that is what is at the heart of our program more than anything. We want to know what your research goals are, and that you're ready to dive into the program.
Yeah, and to add to what Marielle said, indeed, we have many students who are working on similar issues. So we have a student now who is from China, but lives and works in Iceland, where issues related to sustainability, energy, climate change, etc., are much more advanced. So she's actually using her DBA thesis as a way to work with a number of companies in China on trying to put in practice or apply some of the knowledge she has. And at the same time, this is her DBA topic. So she's kind of combining both the practical aspect, and this will also be important when you think of your topic, to think about where do I want to conduct my research, and not only the country, but the company, which type of access to the ground, to field work I can have access to, what kind of data I can have access to in order to have meaningful results that can make a real impact at the end.
Exactly. All right, move on to the next question. So a familiar name here. So asking about the 500-word requirement in the application, going over by 200 words, that's fine. I'm sure you have something very nice to share with us. We're not super strict, but we're looking that you can start to explore the current state of knowledge. Are you familiar with reading? Are you comfortable? Have you thought about this? Most people take at least a year, if not longer, to think about doing a doctorate. It's not an easy decision, and actually getting to that, what is your topic, takes a while, and we'll do another info session on that. So it's more, we'd like to get to know you. As we mentioned, we're a very close team. You'll be spending 3 years with us. All three of us will be reading your, and the rest of our colleagues will be reading your application, and we want to get to know you. So we're not concerned about 200 words over, as long as they're meaningful 200 words. The second question was that you have a master's in public administration in September. Can you still submit your application in June and follow up with a degree and transcript? So you notice the start date's November. Yes, as long as we have your transcripts and MBA by, let's say, September 1st. So, but as we met and we talked about it, please feel free, don't let it stop you from applying, because it takes a while to hash out that idea. So don't wait till last minute. I'd say start to get it on paper, start to think about where you would like to go and your goals with your research. So next question is...
Ginny, sorry, I'll just add
yep.
one word before you move to the
Yes,
next question,
please.
because you mentioned, what we look for in the application form to see that people are able to read and really build an argument based on what they're reading as well. So one important challenge usually for DBA students coming into the program is to learn and to get used to reading academic literature. While we don't expect you to be an expert on that before you join the program, we really encourage you to start reading some academic papers as you're preparing your application process. That really helps. And that would start familiarizing you as well with academic type of literature.
And the easiest way is just to go on Google Scholar.
Yeah.
You don't need to pay. Look at current literature, look at things that interest you, and it's a good jump into this new field of reading academic literature. I think another question we get often is how much time you're spending, and we'll do another webinar on time management. But again, if you're not as familiar with reading academic literature, maybe you would need more time until you get through that transition. So it's good to start reading now, huh? All right, so is the program only in English? Dima, would you like to answer that one?
So all the teaching is in English, yes. And this is actually as well for you, for reading, for engaging with the academic literature. It's important to have a strong command of English. We have a few instances, a few cases in the past where the student chose to write their thesis in French, but all the classes, all the teaching, all the reading is usually in English, yes.
The next is we have a current student. Actually, I see 2 current students online. If I had known they were attending, we could have roped them in and helped answer these questions. That would have been very nice. So hello, and thanks for joining us. Another question is the DBA physical or online? So as we mentioned, it's both. If you follow our DBA France program, there's 2 in-person seminars, both launched in November when we start, during the launch in November, and then again in March the following year, and then is it March? No, November. And then for our DBA USA, we have 3 in-person seminars in Grenoble, Los Angeles, and Paris. And then the rest is followed online along with frequent communication with your supervisor. Although we are always welcome to come and visit us in Grenoble, we'd be happy to welcome you.
Yeah, and that's actually some of the students who live nearby, who are passing, in France for their travels. They like to come and visit and maybe work on site, use the library, and also get the opportunity to meet with their supervisor face to face, because most of the meetings you're going to have with your supervisors will be online. So it's, yeah, as Ginny said, everyone is welcome to come as often as they want outside of the actual seminars that we have on site.
So we have some questions about pricing, applications. So a lot of this is on our website. So we, to not keep you too long on the webinar tonight, we won't get into details on that, but I'm happy to meet with you. And then it's also in the emails I'll send as well. So another question is does French language matter when I visit France if I don't speak French at all? No, Grenoble is as you notice, the three of us are not French. So we're very international. We have a very international team. How many international faculty? Do you know?
Maybe more than the French.
It might
don't
be
know.
more than half at this point. Grenoble's
Yeah.
a very international city. So no, you'll be fine. Yeah, you'll have, so a company, while you come, enjoy a great trip to France at the same time. So I'm wondering if my organization in which I'm working could finance the DBA, and if yes, how? So that's a good question. It does happen. There is maybe some tips once maybe Dima, you've had some experience.
So some students come, with finance from their company. It depends on how much the company wants to finance and what their requirements are. So it will be a conversation and discussion with your employer to see what they will require from you so that we're aligned. But yeah, it's definitely an option. When the time comes, we'll discuss it more in detail. But yeah, we often have students financed by their company.
All right, next question is, my intended research topic is similar to Dr. Ben Powers. You'll notice Dr. Powers is one of our alumni ambassadors. You can see quite a few videos from him, but if you check out our website ambassador page. But is focusing on the visually impaired adults in Vietnam, an investigation into the factors which impact entrepreneurial self-efficacy and entrepreneurial intention. The case of Vietnamese visually impaired adults. Will this fit into the specialization category number 3? We're really looking forward to getting your application. This sounds very interesting. And as Dima mentioned, she can probably follow up, but it doesn't have to fit into a specialization. But go ahead, Dima, if you want to explain that.
Yeah, so exactly, it doesn't have necessarily to fit into specializations. Specializations are something an added value that will be for you, and you will choose which one you would be interested in, regardless to whether it's aligned with your topic or not. So these are completely separate things.
And so we have a question on someone interested in finance or restructuring, merger and acquisition, and company valuation. This would be up Marielle's alley, perhaps.
That's right. Indeed, we have this year a new student who is in this field also. He's looking at the pharmaceuticals industry, where there's either an acquisition or there has to be in-house growth. So he concentrates on mergers and acquisitions in the pharmaceuticals. And there was another one I forgot now, so we have so many students. And indeed, we have great professors in finance, my direct colleagues, who are much knowledgeable about this and are very keen to join research and look at what we can do together.
That's true. I was just looking at the stats, and we have about maybe 10 students or so from the last 3 or 4 years in the financial services. So
okay, yeah,
or maybe probably in the last 5 years, I guess 10 students probably working in financial services. So it's definitely things that come up. So next question is, somebody would like to look into why there's so few minorities and women on the production side of business. So maybe this is a topic that aligns with some of the work that Dima has been working on.
Yeah, so we actually have even in our current students, several students working on issues related to gender in different industries, different countries. And at the school, we have a lot of expertise in this topic. So if this is a research topic that you will choose, you'll definitely have a supervisor who's heavily engaged not only in research and the literature, but also in terms of really making an impact and a real shift in these issues in organizations. So this is something maybe that I mentioned earlier. Many of our faculty members as well, in addition to their activities of teaching and research, also have additional activities. So whether being engaged in social or in consultancy or other topics. So they also have this link to the real world. So they're not just researchers working on theories, but they're putting into practice many of the issues they're working on. So that would fit quite well with several of our faculty members, definitely.
All right, we have a question about the time of our webinars. What time are our webinars?
So
5 p.m.
now.
5 p.m. French time. That's right. That's exactly now, which sort of fits everybody around the world. Everybody seems to be sort of awake at this time, either morning or late. So that's it. Always 5 p.m.
We have quite a few from Toronto, from LA. So they're logging in early mornings. And then usually for our French and our European, cohorts are logging in the evenings. But we also have quite a few people from Singapore also who are heroes and working quite late. But we find that 5 p.m. French time tends to be the golden hour that works for most people. So the next question is somebody interested in academic positions. She's already taught micro and macroeconomics in the American University of Beirut and has a master's degree in financial economics. Would you please elaborate if the DBA program would help this person grow in academia?
So yeah, I'm actually the perfect example because I'm a DBA graduate myself, and I used to work I had a career in HR for many years before transitioning into academia, and it's actually the DBA that allowed me for this transition and to have now an academic career. So definitely the DBA helps you to do that. What we actually ask the students or maybe advise the students to do is, depending on their country they're in, just to check what would be the requirements to have an academic career. For example, in Germany, they would require a PhD, not a DBA. But in many countries, especially in business schools, the DBA is actually maybe sometimes more valued than the PhD because of this link with the practical words as well. So I'm an example. I have a DBA and I'm teaching, having an academic career at a business school in France. I wouldn't be able to teach at a public university in France, but I can have an academic career in business school, which is what I want. So yes, it's definitely possible, but still, check in your countries what would be the requirements for you to be able to do that as well, just to make sure that the degree is recognized for you to have an academic career.
About 1/3 of our students go into academia or academia consulting. So that's sort of hybrid, but it's to give you a little bit of an idea. But generally, it's in combination with your publications, your amazing, work experience as well, and your research, your profile. So do you offer assistance to define a research topic? A little bit. I'm happy to chat with you and see where you want to go and help guide you in those first steps. And then once your question gets to a little bit more pointed, I will put you in touch with either Professor Lewis or Professor De Jong or one of our faculty who's in your topic, because it's very customized into what your goals are. So, and your current work experience, as Adima had mentioned, your access to research, what you want to do. It's very much an individualized journey. So we're happy to meet with you. Sometimes people think they're not sure, but they'll actually tell me exactly. I'm like, you just told me exactly what you want to do, and you didn't even hear it. So you might know more than you think you know. But we get that it's sometimes feels like a scarier decision than it is. It's also part of the process. So your idea and your topic will be hashed out before you start, but a lot will evolve, and our part of that is of doing a degree is refining that topic along the way.
Yeah, indeed, that is what we see happening during the opening seminar. Students come in, they have their idea, they speak with each other, they get some input, and by the end of the seminar, they have changed their research topics or modified at least, and that's normal. It's really indeed what we search to, that this process, this journey is an important part of it.
Yeah, so your topic has to be narrow enough and defined enough to get started, because 3 years seems long, but it's not. But part of the process is evolving along the way, right? So the next question is kind of similar to the last one, is about it being recognized program. Since it's online, we're not an online program. We're just a Doctorate of Business Administration that delivers part of our credits online. But we are an in-person program, so that doesn't change. And our triple accreditation and publication ranks help. But as Dima had mentioned, it's important depending, on what your goals are. If you wanted to teach full-time in a public university in Germany, perhaps, you might need a German PhD. Those are things that you might need to look into. Most of our students want to go into teaching or consulting in business, teaching in business schools or consulting. So again, it depends to each person and what your profile is. But again, we're all happy to meet with you and discuss. So how many years do you suggest between an MBA and the start of a DBA in general? And what time of day are the seminars? So 2 questions there. So what do you think between the MBA and the DBA?
Well, we can say we have students from the age of 30 to about 60-ish, so indicating that there is a wide range of, there's no right answer to that. It could be just a few years or long after. So no clear answer there.
It depends on your own readiness, your motivation, the time you can dedicate to it, how mature the topic is in your head. So as Jenny said, sometimes some students take a year or 2 to think about their topic before they actually decide to start their DBA journey. So that there are lots of variables. So also the time in your life, your personal situation, whether you're planning to change countries, jobs, etc. So there are lots of factors that could impact this decision. So everything is possible if you're really motivated for it. Yeah. And in terms of the times of the seminars, so the short online webinars, as we said earlier, they're at 5 p.m. The seminars that are on site, you have to be on site, so they cannot be around work hours. So usually at the start of the program, we give you the schedule for all the seminars and webinars for the 3 years. So you can plan way in advance. You can block those dates way in advance and make sure that you're available.
Yeah, and we have that information on our website too, and I'm happy to email it to you if you'd like. All right, I guess, and the final question is, will this be recorded? So yes, this session's recorded, and we'll make it available on our website, and I'll send a follow-up email with any application information and any follow-up questions you might have. So one more question here. Do they have to choose as a specialization topic? Is it optional? And how many additional units are added to the degree?
Yeah, so you have to choose because it's part of the overall credits, but you don't have to choose when you join the program. So this is a decision that you can make later on. But yeah, it's an integral part of the program. It's not optional.
All right, excellent. Do we have any other questions? All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for your engaging questions and for listening us to what we had to share about our program. Again, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, and we look forward to receiving your applications. And we will be having more webinars come up. So we'll send you invitations to those. We'll have monthly webinars on different topics. We'll do one on time management. We'll do one on the application process and trying to narrow down your research topic. So we will keep you informed of any of those, and please feel free to check out our website, check out our articles from our students and alumni. If you'd like to meet anyone, often they're very happy to share their experience. And so, yes, so I think that's it.
Yeah, and just to answer the final question, yes, you can come back with additional questions by email. So don't hesitate to reach out, send us any additional questions you have by email. So thank you all. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Ginny.
Thank you all for listening. Looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.